had received my go ahead for the thing that I'm trying to do, and if you know me personally, then you know what that is. However, moving ahead, we can't always wait to know. We can't always wait to be absolutely certain that everything's going to be okay. As this is titled, it's all about not only trusting, but it's also recognizing that that is the point and that is the purpose. So I just want to say, welcome to the next light stream of the next few months. And I want to just go ahead and say thank you guys for hanging out with me. And thank you for tuning in if you are. And if you're watching this later, it still, has some point and purpose. These tend to last through to the next lunation. And if you do go back, you'll always find a piece of wisdom. And I think that's how I use them personally, is just to kind of keep myself in alignment. That is the point. So I did want to talk about a couple of things I've been experiencing in my own energetic field. And now that I'm kind of back in a place where my sanity is in a place of collected, like, process and not just absolute anarchy of things coming apart, things coming together, and just overturning and change and accountability and setting up for success. And I always go heavily into what this means for career paths and stuff like that. And that is very much the key and point for this light stream tonight, but it's also a call to take inventory for what's happening in your personal life. Take inventory and really look at who's in your personal life, and are you, you know, being there for your personal life? Is it all just checking the box to create another box onto the next box? Did I check this box? And so your life that you're living can definitely suffer. I do have a list of things I'm going to touch down on here. So I'm going to try my best not to always, as always, go on tangents. But yeah, definitely going within and saying, well, what is it all for? I always talk about professionalism and growth and having your concept and getting ready to really put it out there to manifest and create more for ourselves. But what's the point? To what end are we doing that? To what end does it give back to me if I'm just constantly, going to sleep to wake up, to go to sleep to wake up, to make more money, to make more money, to make more money, repeat, repeat, repeat. We've given our life up to becoming the machine. And we're very much not the machine. We are the entity, the soul, and we are here learning to fall back into love with existence itself, that singular consciousness that we share amongst each other, or that one love, or that universal love, or, the love of Christ, that whatever have you is driving us, on our journey back to love. And that really is the underlining to why things have been so turbulent. And we talk about on a planetary scale. That's also why I have not really been able to process, to get my words and my thoughts together, because even in real time as I'm recording this, there's endings and beginnings, and there's just so much culminating around the planet as a whole that is hard to process, that is hard to see, that is hard to take accountability for. But it is something that we have to take accountability for, because this is our planet. These things happening are a result of our actions collectively. And so collectively, we can again pull it back and bring it back. Even in your small world, just say, I'm going to enjoy today because I have a reality in which I can enjoy today. And even in the darkest of corners of reality. And even me, as poverty stricken as my youth was, there was never, as it's happening to you, you don't really see it for the depth that it really is until you've been away from it. And so, to those people in those dark corners of the world right now, just really wish nothing but an isolated escape of some kind to remind you that you're still human and you're still alive and you're still here if you are. And, nothing but honor and to those who are still fighting and I don't want to say out loud what I'm talking about because it does again where I'm speaking collectively, so whatever's popping up and resonating, um, that's kind of the intentions that I'm giving it for because it's happening in all walks of life right now. This underlining chaos, inner crisis, and unraveling of the controlled society that we found safety in, we found security in, is gone. It's no more. And now there's this turbulence, and in this like bed of chaos, we're being called to inject it with our love, to be there to answer to each other when we feel those disconnects as people on this planet. So again, I'll bring it all the way back to life is not creating the box, checking the box, rinse and repeat. You're here today, and you're lucky to be here today because somebody is not here today because of the inner crisis and that bed of chaos that we're all residing in right now. And if you lost somebody in these past few months, my heart deeply, deeply mourns with you. Moving on, I want to also talk about the element in the air that is the dark night of the soul. This unraveling of life as we know it is exactly that. It's a dark night of the soul. There's a book, St. John of the Cross, where he spends the night with his lover, Isabel, and they spend the night in this deep shame because they're giving into these feelings. They're giving into, what they have inside for each other. And that is on us all right now because we all have this almost deep shame of what we're doing and what we're not doing. But again, it's to call it back, like, it's all unraveling. Your madness that you're feeling is an allude, ALLUDE, to the next phase of life. And these past few months, at least for me personally, like if you're sitting, I don't think anybody right now is sitting just, I'm just happy with how everything is. Like everybody has this like existential fear looming in the back of their head of, my God, I don't know what's next. That's what I'm talking about. Is I've now arrived at my point of fret not, and I'm here to tell you fret not, because the universe has gone extremely out of its way to tell me fret not, if you're here, you're going to be okay. And I'm going to just sit with that for a moment. You're going to be okay. There is so much love being culminated for you. There's so much support rallying behind you that we are really creating this cradle for this chaos to kind of, okay, this is where we are, then this is where we are. But I'm here to support you where you are today. In the bed of your chaos, I am here to support you. In the deconstruction of everything you knew and trusted, I am here to support you. And we're doing that for each other right now. That's the stepping up to the occasion, the rising to the occasion. And so as we go through this dark night of the soul, even though it is chaotic and terrifying, there's no other, I should say, there's no better path to a newfound frequency than a dark night of the soul, where everything that you trusted is ripped from you. And so, just to know, even this chaos has a purpose in the greater scheme of things. Not to justify any injustices, but to at least give direction from the existential crisis that we're under, that there is a way forward after the wake of everything that's happened and will happen, because we're looking at a 2-month stretch here. Energies that are going on now that I've kind of tackled that, and I really wanted to get in front of the camera tonight to just be a voice of it's going to be okay, because I've needed that voice as well. I mean, it's midnight, so whoever's burning the oil with me here. Ending today though is our efforts to get ahead, and man, I've been personally running to get ahead, and I feel like I am ahead, and that's due to, again, that cradle of unwavering support that I've received from actual family, client family, people I consider family, deep connections that I've built, not just in my network, but also in my personal life. I'm seeing this roundabout, and it's coming around. So everything that I've done so far has been to get ahead. But now I can rest knowing that I've done that part. And so you've done your getting ahead as well. So you're prepared mentally, you've gotten ahead. You've taken some time to heal. You've taken those, again, that dark night of the soul. It helps you to really say, I can't carry this anymore. And so you put it down, and that's you doing your work. We're also getting past the excessive indulgence. Again, with all this inner crisis and inner tumult, it's the disciplines that will keep us intact, but definitely don't fool yourself into thinking that you're not going to have moments of, I just need a day out. I just need to go have a good lunch, or I just need a night out with friends and drinking till like 6 a.m. Like, I need to do me. That's that meme. I got to put me first. That was supposed to happen as well. Artistic inspiration and really pulling from the ethos and making it happen in creative ways. Now, as a Capricorn, I am creative. I am artistic. I can draw. I do permanent makeup. I can see it though, and that's really the artist in me can see it before it is. Now, how it gets from here to here, where we can touch it and feel it, that's manifestation, and that is the artistic way. Like, when we think it, well, then we start to do it, and we do it, and we do it. Next thing you know, it is. Right? So today we're talking about expansion as well. And that's now the current reality. That's where we've arrived, this new moon in Scorpio. And this expansion now has really, really, I mean, you talk about I'll never go hungry again, Scarlett O'Hara. I'll never do that. I'll never take for granted the life that I have now, because I've seen behind me how far I've come. And the days that I did starve, and the days that I was dirty, and the days that I did go, into the depths of my own mind and stayed there in addiction. And, it's like, we can never again. We've expanded. We've risen above. So I really want you to be with this inner feeling and inner crisis now giving room to blossom into this direction that you now know what to do, that you've had that enlightenment, that aha moment, and now you can move forward. Okay, if I have this together and I have this together and I have this together, this is the direction we're heading. Everybody, let's go. Like, that's 7 months of energy, and it's going to be a power struggle for the next three, and I'll get into that in a little bit here. But evaluate yourself and evaluate your vision is kind of the prelude to that. Really have an idea, and I mean an articulate, get an Excel sheet going. Everything that I must not forget to do. It's time. You know, put it into action. I have my own, I call it a Gantt sheet. They're amazing. So professional growth over the next several months, power struggles over the next 3 months, because we are all stepping into this newness, and this authority is going to be resonating, and the people who are longing to put us in our place, or maybe you've just outgrown the need for somebody who's, been there for you. Give them their flowers. Tell them thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. But I got it from here, and I wouldn't have made it here without you, but I got it from here. You know, Blue 22 or whatever they say in football. Learning moderation is also an ingredient for that success. So remember everything that you must not forget. And so that's why today, especially today, we're ending that excessive lifestyle. We're not going to, be losing our minds and, spending an extra $20 here, an extra $40 there, and it also, it's not just financial energy. We're not going to keep giving advice to the same people that aren't hearing it. We're not going to, keep making excuses for the person who won't, take two steps in front of themselves for us. So it's this whole new expansion that we are in front of, and we're taking that first big step together. So if I'm taking it, you better believe you're taking it, and we are moving in this new direction, whether they're coming or not. And in case they don't know it, they're coming, because there's no longer not. There's nowhere else to go but forward. I mean, we're literally sitting. I don't know if you remember, like at the very end of the Never-Ending Story, there's like a few pieces left of Fantasia, and she's like, "Well, this is all that's left. All that's left is this ivory palace, and it must look nice, but this is all." People just gave up. And then he starts making his wishes, and he slowly starts rebuilding it. Like, that's where we're at. We're at that point now. All we got left is this ivory tower, and we have to start believing. We have to start, like, believing in what we can achieve and driving it home, because it's a whole new story. The Never-Ending Story. I love that movie. I might have to watch that one. Maybe I'll do it on stream. Mars is in Scorpio. Let's get into some planets. I know this is a little fast-paced, but like I said, I am barely scraped together the audacity to get on camera at midnight and just say, you know what, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So Mars is in Scorpio, and so it's the tactitional planet tied into this deeply, like, mysterious. So it's like our plans of attacks are our own. So if we want to talk about individuality for a second, and it's great to kumbaya and everything, but my plans and what I have, that's in here, and trust me, I got this, is that energy. Okay, well, the sun is also in Scorpio, so if you're a Scorpio, you must be, like, cackling from your ivory tower, because it's all that's left. No. I just paint Scorpios as the villains, but you know what? It's a fun trope. It's the most interesting trope of any series is the villain. So, I mean, you want to talk about especially a villain that comes to see the light, or or just, develops to such a profound level of, but it's that's Scorpio energy. Either they're going to let it go or it will make them perish. You want to talk about the best villain of the zodiac? And I love a good villain. Venus moving into Libra, balancing our relationships in finances, balancing our relationships with each other, with our lovers, with our significant others, with our partners, with our husbands, with our wives, with our, you know, the girl we told off down the street. It's time to balance. It's time to say, you know what, I'm letting it go. We're starting from scratch. And now I get it, and I'm moving forward. Mercury is in Sagittarius, and I love this because it's communication, and nobody talks their way into or out of anything better than a Sagittarius. I mean, you do want to talk about somebody who can throw it like, I don't want to say like a house party, but like a network marketing event. It's your Sagittarius fire. Like, they got the lemon bars. They know all the best places to eat. Like, a Sagittarius in your corner in the realm of like business affairs. Now I want lemon squares. Some retrogrades that we are going through is Neptune and Pisces. Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And what does that mean? Your dreams are really just the downloads. It's not even when we're asleep, but the envisionment, the vision is coming through. You're hearing it in the songs you hear on the radio. You're seeing it in the movies you're seeing on TV. You're, seeing signs. You're seeing, numbers 444, 222, 888. The universe is just so acutely communicating to us right now. Acutely. To where it's literally every other moment of the day you may just be in this like state of, okay, I get it. No, that's because the Capricorn. I get it. No. But it is communicating to us like in a very profound way, and for that I am grateful. Please don't stop doing that, universe. So again, that retrograde, that retrograde is an internalization of that communication. So again, like once this planet goes direct, we will take that message and drive it into, the kiln of reality and let it become. So it's a very profound time to be listening and really looking out for those messages and those signs. Like if you have a prayer group and I want you guys to pray for me for this, and it's that time. Okay? Pray for me. Anybody's got a prayer group? David Navarro needs prayer. Chiron is a retrograde in Aries. This is the time after the war, after the battle. The wounded healer. The one who's been through all of the fights and knows how to rehabilitate themselves. That's that energy. So you know how to cure your own self. You know how to heal the wounded heart, the heavy heart, the part of you that's just tired of being tired. That give that a place to be right now. Okay, don't try to force start dating people if you've been through a terrible breakup. Don't start, reaching out into new areas of making money if you haven't healed your relationship with wealth. It's a time to really say, I'm going to fix me. I'm going to fix me. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. So taking care of your inner relationships. You can probably hear the faucet in the back. That's my inner relationship. And I take care of him. He takes care of me. But just taking it, overcoming the obstacles in the arena of the home. So overcoming, moving stuff around can even help with this. Moving, this could also mean like you're getting ready, you're kind of like tired of where you are, you're ready to move, like that kind of energy. But it's not happening yet. It's all in the background. So just, but really, like I said, write down to it very meticulously and articulate. Write down how you want your home life to be. Because we do it all the time for how we want our careers to be and where we want our money to come from. But we don't, I don't say we don't, but it'd be very good if we paid a little more attention to what we're going to do with all that and what that looks like. I want to read books and eat poached eggs, but I play video games all night, so. I don't know. I've been thinking though, maybe I should start reading books like on live, like that could be fun. Uh, Lastly, we have another one, Jupiter in Taurus as well. And so what that means is put a little bit of effort into your home. Bring some of that, again, that money, that energy to have. Give it to yourself in an internalized way. You know, we're not just talking about brick and mortar homes. There's also the body to consider. Are you working out? Are you eating healthy? Are you honoring yourself? We just talked about living excessively, so it's asking you, okay, can you give some back? You know, so again, heal your bodies, your astral body, your karmic body, your celestial body. Now, there's over 7 layers to this flesh. You know, there's over 7 layers to this flesh that we have to take account of. So I want to get into some cards here, but I will be right. Right? And so I just had to get my cards real quick. So we're going to pull some now. The first card I want to pull with is from this beautiful new deck that I have. And just to give it its flowers, I'm going to read it from the top card, which is like it's beautiful and I love it. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear: My name is Osmandius, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." It's giving me Galadriel. I love it. Nothing beside remains. You know, when we talk about like inner ability, this kind of is ringing home. Um, Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. So I guess I mean that to me speaks of impermanence and just really the fact that we do not have forever. And again, like I said, you know, we've lost so many people over these past 5 years on this planet, and the numbers are just racking up still. I'd say a good third of the planet has been lost to these, you know, atrocities that just keep happening. You know, don't want to go into the whole these are the end times because these are our times. You know, and we're not promised tomorrow. So that goes with what you will. So this first card that I'm going to pull up here is from this new deck called Ephemer by Arthur Black from or Arthur Wang from the True Black series. Look at this card. And from a single point, all of this beautiful array of color and just bursting forth of life. We are the magic. And the power flows through us, not to us. You know, you're an array for cosmic energy to act and feel, you're the conduit. You are the wand. You feel things in an array of different aspects and variations to all degrees of degrees. It's a spectrum. I'm kind of mad. I'm really mad. Sometimes I'm happy. I'm way happy. I'm overfilling with gratitude. You know, we're human. And we are directly influenced by the energy of the ego. And the ego is the all encompassing. It's the world that we reside within. It knows it doesn't have long. It knows that it will die. And it panics and drags us along with it. But we're the unseen, made seen. The voiceless manifest as the voice. So when I see this card, I'm reminded that I am the power of the all-powerful, that I am the Godhead of the God mouth. I have been given form and blown and dusted with life because this energy runs through me. And Christians call it the Holy Ghost. But you may call it the ether. Others call it, universal light energy. But you are the catalyst of the spark. You're the sun rising in the morning. You are the wand. You are the wand. The second card is from the original deck, the True Black deck, which is a gorgeous deck, which is like why I fell in love with this artist to begin with. This card is the Destiny card. And we see this Destiny card in relation to how we would see the Hierophant from the original tarot deck. And in this is a representation of the loom of fate. And a nod to fractal energy and how everything is by design. Larger and smaller. The greater cosmos to the small microcosm. Carries the same geometric sacredness. And it's interesting with the Hierophant because we talk about, we talk about Taurus, this retrograde energy in Taurus is Hierophant energy. It's somebody giving a sermon. And you have these two acolytes receiving that sermon. And so the question is, if those two acolytes weren't there, would the sermon still hold meaning? And so I guess what I'm trying to allude to is we are in this together, in that as I talk to this camera, I am talking to myself, the acolyte, not just to you, the listener, as the acolyte, that I am also the acolyte, and I'm here to listen as well. And so that sermon is vivid thought given form, and it travels all throughout consciousness. And right now it's within us, but as soon as these planets go direct, and even probably maybe before if you choose to do so, you will share that inner wisdom and give to that collective consciousness your story, your version of the sermon to the acolyte, including yourself, the acolyte. And so I love that card came up tonight as we're talking about the dark night of the soul, because we are all going to come on the other side of this with stories to tell. You know, there was the great polar shift back in, I think it was 2013 when the Mayan calendar ended, and we were just like, ah. But that was when there was this polarity shift. And now, all of the great philosophies of the world and all of the great, like, newfound and nuanced to, like, philosophical enlightenment and talking about it, it's coming from Western thinking. I know. Deeply rooted in Eastern philosophy, but now given nuance by Western thinkers. We've emerged from the age of knowledge into the age of emotions. And there's always, you know, the others, like I said, the ego panics when that happens. So it tries to twist, and this is where the birth of evil comes from every generation. So if it was knowledge, it was misinformation, was the ego's death of that. So now that we are in emotions, it's the wrath that is now the death of that. Cancel culture, what have you. I've talked about this before. This next card. Try to keep it together and not ramble. Look at this woman. As she stands on these mountains, your life is a canvas of your own beautiful painting. And if we go back to this card, it's so funny that we drew this card, which is the wand, as it's, you know, manifesting all these colors from its tip. And we are the wand. And so this woman is painting the sky, the hues of her own heart. You know, she's given shape to the ground that she's standing on. She's creating it as she goes. Because where this picture ends, there's no sure footing for her. But she'll create it when she's ready to leave. Your life is a canvas. So be the artist, manifestation, and have creative accountability. Set time aside to say, you know, instead of like the ego driven at the end of the day when you're laying down to rest, is when the world finally comes down on you. So imagine if you had that creative accountability to problem solve before you went to bed. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would like to close with. There's just so much gratitude in my heart for the world as it is. And I know that I was talking earlier about how devastating everything is right now and the inner crisis that we're all going through. But within my own personal life, I have reached a point in my career that has reached its pinnacle. I have reached all of these other areas of my life that are reaching their pinnacle. And so right now, on all of these vast, like, basically this woman, you know, as she's reached the top of that mountain, and you just appreciate how far you've come. You just appreciate, you know, every time you told yourself yes, and every time the universe answered back yes. And so that's really been my saving grace through this inner crisis. I guess I want to call it a module of inner crisis because isn't that what life is? A series of modules, like, and then tests. You know, like, what did you learn? Um, so, as I've gone through this, you know, journey, I've had this evolution underway. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I am so deeply and profoundly grateful for all the people that I met last year. I mean, everybody that I've met on this massage journey, you know. And even saying that, you know, I'm going to go to a funeral for the man who founded the school that I went to for massage therapy. And so I guess I'm going to dedicate this video to Dr. John T. Kenning for just creating the space in the Las Vegas community that has given rise to so many people with seemingly no foot forward to have a say with their future. I'm one of them. I work with a group of other people, and I'm very close to friends who are friends, and we've all, you know, gone through those programs at that school. And now we are kind of like living these incredible lives because of it. Life finds a way, as a wise Jeff Goldblum once said. And I'm not going to say that I wouldn't have found my way without it, but I will say that it wouldn't have been quite this way, and it wouldn't have been quite as wonderful had I found it in another means, without that deep reception for me as a person, as an enrolled student, and just the connections that I made attending there that are still connections that I have today. And so I just want to close with thank you, Dr. John T. Kenny, and thank you for everything you've done in this life that you've lived. And safe journey home. All right, on that note, you guys, I'm going to end, and I'm going to just chill out now. I'm going to probably play some video games. And if you know, then you know where you can find that. I'm also on TikTok at Saturnal702. You can find me there. And I'm looking forward to updating you once I know the thing that's been driving me mad. But again, I didn't want to wait to make this video any longer. And my encouragement to you is you don't need to have all the pieces to decide you're going to plan ahead. All right? You guys have a great rest of your night, morning, and a great rest of your week. I'll be back at you next time.